Right. Today will be introduction, orientation to commerce, introduction. Handout, कहीं रखा होगा handout? Yes. Today we'll discuss basics about your optional, right? Overall scheme of EPS, and with focus on paper 1. I wish to tell about myself. I am R.S. Agarwal, Radhesham Agarwal. I am a CA, CS also, and passionate about study. So passionate that when I am studying something, I forget what is happening around. A thief can steal something. Means getting lost in the thing. That is virtue also. That might be a negative thing also, because such a person is prone to ignore many important things, because if you over focus, so I am prone to ignore kids, I am prone to ignore other matters of the home, but the keen interest in study, that is source of your success also, right? Let us start with the cutoff marks, because our final target is to be in the list. So let us see what is done by UPSC. We will be helping you in written part, not interview. If you see written marks, if you see lower cutoff, considering lower cutoff, percentage of written marks in final selection has been 77 to 80%. Consistently, it is 78% for the past 4 years. Means role of interview is around 22%. But if you see topper, for a topper, role of interview is around 15-16%. For a person who is qualifying at bottom, this is general candidates. We can't discuss all categories, general category candidates, right? So lower cutoff, 78% written marks or 22% interview marks, and if you see toppers marks, around 84% written marks and 15% interview marks. Means want to get at higher levels, will have to work more on written part. At lower levels, there is a greater significance of interview, because interview board can assign same 200 marks to a person who is first ranker and same 200 marks to a person who is last ranker. Is my voice audible? ऐसा लग रहा है कि it's slow ना? मंजीत, एक बार आएंगे? वन मोर ट्रेंड इज देयर. थोड़ा सा वॉइस कम आ रहा है, थोड़ा सा इसको एम्पलीफायर का करो, या तो एम्पलीफायर इसको भी करो थोड़ा सा, पहले वाला, फर्स्ट वाला. हेलो हेलो. ठीक है. सो लेट अस सी वन इंपॉर्टेंट ट्रेंड. फॉर द पास्ट 10 years, total marks in the written part has been 1750, interview 275, so total 2025, you know it, written. If we see 1750, out of 1750, 2018 candidates secured 774, 751, 736, 745, and once upon time it was 809 also. Means UPSC has reduced written marks from, it is not accidental, from 800 to around 750, roughly 800 to 750. So marks have reduced from 800 to 750. This reduction is not in GS. This reduction is in optionals. Means in optionals, UPSC has scaled down all the marks. These are not commerce marks, these are overall marks. So if you see trend of past 3 years, in commerce trend is 270, 265 upper marks. And this is story about almost all the optionals. In total UPSC there may be 20-30 candidates getting 300 marks. Rare candidate, I think no candidate getting 340, 350. During this time, there were many candidates getting 350, 360. Even in 2018, Ritika got 330 marks. Ritika, of our student, Ritika, she got 330 marks out of 500. And now it is 270 out of 500, 60 marks down. This downfall is not just in commerce. This is in every optional. First thing. Second thing is what is impact on rankers classes or what is impact on total selections. My assessment is no impact. 2018 also we were having around 18 to 20 selections, and 21 also 18 to 20 selections. What changed is change in ranks. We were having rank in top 30. This year top 30, this year top 30, this year top 30. And this year there is rank above 80. Means below 80. 81, 84th. If you see total selections of commerce, they are same. Right? So there might be perception that UPSC is discouraging our optional. Definitely not valid. Right? One thing. Another thing is if you see toppers marks. 2017 topper was having 950 marks. Reduced to 940 to just 8 marks. UPSC reduced here 24 plus 9, 33 marks. But here toppers managed to get 942 marks. Means higher rank is a matter of your strong or hard work. Strong or hard work. Still today, toppers are having a gap of just 18 marks. But there is huge gap between the marks of the topper and second ranker. 50-60 marks gap is there. Right? That is purely individual hard work. Purely individual hard work. Whatever optional you are having, your hard work will pay. Definitely we will be guiding our best, but you are one step ahead of your competitor and one step ahead of rankers classes would help you. And definitely I will be with you in that harder work. Right. So you must have assessment about your optional that there is, and UPSC has done this particularly since introduction of EWS. EWS introduced 3 years back. Yes. So in order to ensure that there is not too much gap between EWS marks and general marks, UPSC might have scaled down optional subjects. Right. Further, UPSC wants to increase significance of GS also. Because here candidates were getting, if you see marks of the toppers, they were getting good score in optionals. In optionals, for example, Ritika, she got 330 out of 500. So it is 66%. You might not have seen any person getting 660 out of 1000 in GS. Because GS, that is very wide. But I can't agree that GS is not marks scoring. It depends upon your depth of knowledge and breadth of knowledge. Sometimes I think GS is equally marks scoring. GS is equally marks scoring. And why candidates are not getting marks? I think you are not collecting information from the first source or first hand information. From any original source, coaching person filtered information. He filtered out difficult information, filtered in attractive information. His personality plays a role. And thereafter, one more filter. So you are getting third or fourth hand information. Because research team collected information, thereafter teacher filtered it further. Not only this, after information coming to your hand, you will filter it further. You will do more selective preparation. Right? So more you are having access to information directly, greater will be the score potential, whether it is optional or GS. Because examiner is not having model answer from coaching institute. He is having model answer from original source. So greater the access to original source, or you can say greater the scent of your personality or your study, more will be the marks potential. Because 20,000 by 20,000 people, or you can divide 20,000 students in 5-6 categories. They are having study material of 5-6 institutes. Would be writing similar thing, similar language. That's why it might be the reason that in GS there are 45% marks at the higher side, 450, right? In optional also, you will have to do harder work, harder than us, harder than your competitor. Right? So this is one thing. I prepared graph also. Minimum marks in written. So from 809 to around 740, 45, these have reduced. So there is 10 to 15% fall in marks in the written paper. So earlier we were aiming at 350 because our students were getting 330. Now when I discuss with the students who are appearing this year, they say, sir, is it feasible to get 300 marks? My answer is, it depends upon strategy of UPSC. What you can do is, you do your harder work. You can't project marks. You can project your harder work. You should have good content in your answer. You should have good presentation of your answer. That's what you can do. If you got 350 marks and UPSC has done 10%, 15% scaling, that is done in all the optionals, then your plan is not achieved. But you will be in the list because your assessment is done relatively. Not only your marks are seen, others' marks are also seen. Right? But those who are in top 20, they get success at their own. We have seen written marks around 85%. Interview marks lower. Right. Let us first discuss scheme of this examination. If you see the total scheme of the examination, So total marks assigned for are 2025, out of which written part is 1750 and interview part is 225, right? 275, right? That is 275. And out of this 1750, you are having general studies 1000 marks, that is 4 papers of 250 marks each. You are having optional 500 marks, that is 2 papers of 250 each, and you are having essay, spelling ठीक है, you are having 1 paper of 250 marks, that is 250. So that is 1750, right? I think 2 essays are asked, 125, 125. Right? Our focus is here, optional, that is commerce. Commerce and accountancy, 500 marks. So there are 2 papers. Paper 1, 250 marks. Paper 2, 250 marks, right? For 250 marks, you will have to attempt 5 questions of 50 marks each. 5 questions of 50 marks each. And here also 5 questions of 50 marks each you have to attempt. Right? To attempt 5 questions of 50 marks, you will be given 8 questions of 50 marks. That is total 400. Out of 400, you will have to attempt 5 questions of 50 marks, that is 250. So you are having enough choice. Out of 8, you have to attempt 5. There is a hidden message in 5 out of 8. Ideally, in a competitive exam, you should have 5 out of 5. Why 5 out of 6? Why 5 out of 7? And 8 is too much. When we put a test, I try to have no choice. Why to have choice in a competitive exam? But if UPSC gives choice, there is a message that everyone may not be perfect in everything. No. Everyone need not be perfect in everything. This is the correct sentence. Everyone may not be perfect in everything. Everyone need not be perfect in everything. Means if certain areas are not strong, it is not your weakness. Out of 8, you have to attempt 5 only. Means focus your strength. Focus your strength. Even in interview, if you tell that I don't know answer to this, I don't know answer to this, after 5-6 no's, UPSC won't be negative about you. UPSC chairman may ask, please tell your strength. What is your area of strength? You say, I am strong in information technology. Then they will ask most of the questions in the area of information technology. Not to test your knowledge, rather to test your aptitude. Because Government of India is so big, so many challenges that if you are expert of one area only, not one area, minute area of big area. In information technology, you say that I am expert at detecting hacking. Then on the basis of that only they can select you, because they know that in such a big machinery, we need certain persons having these traits. Because this is a world of specialization. This is a world of specialization. So you are not expected to be specialist of everything. So from commerce perspective, prepare 5 areas strongly, not 8 areas strongly. But to avoid risk, prepare 6 areas strongly so that we are having more choice. If you are having sufficient time, prepare 7 areas. But I won't recommend prepare 100% strongly. Put that saved time in those 5-6 areas. There is scarcity of time. So someone might not be very well in income tax. So my suggestion is not to good in income tax, do theory only, skip numericals. UPSC is not going to ask 4 questions from income tax. If UPSC asks 4 questions, then you will be missing 1 question. Only 1 question is asked from income tax. One is not strong in amalgamation accounting, no problem. Do theory only. You will have to do theory, we will see it later. So whatever you do that well. In GS, this principle will not apply. But in commerce or optional, this principle applies. In GS, I think there is no choice. There is no choice. And that is another reason that you are getting lower score in GS. No choice means you can't write your best. So 5 out of 8 means you can write your best. Okay. Paper 1, you are given 8 questions of 50 marks each, attempt 5. And similarly, paper 2, you are given 8 questions of 50 marks each, that is 400. And you have to attempt 5 questions of 50 marks each, that is 250. And to me, this is ample choice. I think one day UPSC will also reduce or eliminate this choice. When competition will reach at its peak. When there is too much competition, choices get reduced. Right? Now let us see structure of question papers. Paper 1. In paper 1, so you have to attempt 250 marks out of 400. Means 5 questions out of 8. Right? In paper 1, 8 questions are asked. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Question number 1. You are asked 5 short notes. 5 lines means 5 short notes. 10 marks, 150 words each. Five short notes say 10 marks, 150 words each. And question number 5 also 5 short notes, 10 marks, around 150 words each. And I put here red circle. Why? It is compulsory. It is compulsory. Right. Thereafter, question number 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, they consist of 3 questions. Question number 2, 1, 2, 3. 20, 15, 15. Question number 3, 1, 2, 3. Again, mix of 20, 15, 15. 20, 15, 15. 20, 15, 15. 20, 15, 15. So, these questions are having 3 parts and you have to attempt all the parts if you select any question. If you select second question, you have to attempt all three. You can't do like this, that you attempted this, and this. 20, 15, 15. Right? And generally, always, all the questions are theory. All questions are theoretical. So, theoretical. No exception. For the past 40 years, UPSC has been asking only theory questions in question number 1 and 5 or short notes. And here it is mix of theory and numericals. Generally, first question is numerical, numerical, numerical. And other questions, theory, 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 theory. T stands for theory. Some may be numerical also. For example, this may be numerical also. This may be numerical also, but not compulsory. But generally, 1, 2, 3, you will find 3 numerical questions, 20 marks each. And same here, numerical, numerical, generally numerical, remaining theory, 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 theory. Maybe some questions numerical. You are having a chart also. You can see on page number 4, you can see the structure. If you see the soft copy, then you will find it better. I had marked green color, orange color, reflecting. So orange color signifies theory and green color signifies numericals. So question number 2A and 2B, generally numerical questions. This is an exception in the year 2017, but you can be fairly sure numerical. Question number 3A is also numerical. 4A, generally numerical. These are the exceptions in between. Right. And generally numerical. So from here, 2 numerical questions are asked. Question number 7. It is not compulsory, but a general trend is there. And here also. So if we see, okay, let us see. So you have to select, you have to attempt 5 questions out of 8. This selected, this selected. Thereafter, out of these 3, you have to select at least one. For example, you selected this question. Not necessary you will select this, you can select this also or this also. And from these 3, you will have to select at least one question. Assume you selected this. So 5 out of 8, 4 selected. And one more question can be selected out of this or this. We generally recommend you should select from this part. So assume you selected this. There are more numerical questions here also. Right. So in this manner you have to attempt 5 questions. In paper 2 also, let us see structure of paper 2. We will discuss details of paper 2 later. Paper 2 also you have to attempt 250 marks out of 400. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, in question number 1, there are 5 short notes of 10 marks each and around 150 words. 10 marks, around 150 words each. And again, compulsory.
Sir, what if we choose the remaining 3 questions from the above part, like 1 and question 5 are compulsory, and what if we attempt question 2, 3 and 4? Is it okay?
No. Then it will be, you must select at least 1 question from here. Her query is, can we select 3 questions from here only? No. You have to select at least 1 question from here. Yes, and at least 1 from here. So out of these 3, a maximum of 2 questions can be attempted, right? And this is 20 marker, 20, 20, 20, 10, 20, 20, 10, 20, 20, 10, 20, 20, 10. So question number 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Each question consists of 3 parts: A, B, C. A and B 20 marks and C 10 marks. Right? And you have to attempt at least 1 question from here. Assume you selected this, and 1 question from here. Assume you selected this. So 4 questions done, and you have to select the 5th question from anywhere. For example, you selected this. Right. Paper 2. We will discuss details of paper 2 later. You know, we will start paper 2 from 21st of August. At that time, we will discuss details of paper 2. Right. Presently, we will focus paper 1. There are 2 objectives of discussing paper 2 at that point of time. First, it will be forgotten by you. Second, new candidates would come from 21st. तो उनको भी कुछ orientation चाहिए. Right? So today's class will be given in recorded mode, and a fresh class of paper 2 would be conducted. So it would be win-win for everyone. For the teacher also, for every candidate also. Right? So this is the advantage of technology. Known as leveraging technology. Come back. Paper 1. So if you see paper 1, out of these 250 marks, ideally 75 to 100 would be numericals, and 175 to how much? 150. The total should be 250, no? If you attempt numericals of 75, you will have to attempt theory of 175. But on the maximum side, usually you get 100 marks numerical. So you will have to attempt 150 theory. So 250. 100 marks theory is compulsory. 50 marks theory, 50 marks theory. And in each question, generally there is 1 theory. So at least 150 marks theory would be there. In rare case, it may be less than 150. In the year 2015 or 2015, so only question number 1 and 5 were theoretical. and candidates were having 3 full-fledged 100% numerical questions. But that was exception. This theory numerical mix is beneficial, just like debt and equity in capital market. Don't invest all the money in equity. Invest some part in debt also. Debt is just like theory. Our student Priyank Kishore, 64th rank. So from very start he was having a plan that I will do theory more, because there is more theory here. This is common sense also. And generally most of the candidates they put 80% time in numericals. Even in classes we will be putting 80% times in numericals. So you will bring my numerical focus down and increase theory focus. Though I will be self-aware about it. But generally we over-focus numericals. That is easy, that is inspiring also, that is challenging also, that is interesting also, awakening also. Theory seems to be boring, dull, significance of memory, right? Not getting instant feedback. In numericals you get instant feedback. You solved a question of cost of capital, answer matched, right? So motivation high हो जाता है. कौन सा हार्मोन एक्टिवेट हो जाता है? Right. You solving a question of final accounts, balance sheet matched. So we love doing numericals. But what is the catch? Theory 175 marks or at least 150 marks. So we have to respect theory more, not less, not equally. Means must be very, must have good knowledge of theoretical details and ability to present theory well. We'll be doing that. Right. So this is from UPSC side. Let us see syllabus now. If you see your syllabus, first we'll see syllabus. Thereafter we'll come back here again. Your commerce paper 1 consists of 2 sections, section A and section B. Section A includes financial accounting, cost accounting, audit, and primarily income tax. Section B includes financial management and financial markets and institutions. Right? So there are 6 areas. 4 areas in section A, 2 areas in section B. We have left FM, FI for self-study. So we'll take remaining areas well. Instead of putting time average on 6 areas, we are putting same time on 5 areas. Come back. This is section A. Above the line is section A. And below the line is section B. Means question number 5, 6, 7, 8 will relate to financial management and financial institutions only. Financial management and financial management and institutions only, so far as this question number 5, 6, 7, 8 is concerned. And section A will be from accounts, cost, tax, and audit. From these 4 areas only. Right? These 5 short notes will be asked from all the 4 areas. So, one short note from financial accounting, second from cost, third from audit, fourth from tax, and fifth, it may be mix of any 2 or repetition from any one of these. So, what is important for you is you have to do theory of all of these. Theory must be done. Means if you want to skip any area, you can skip numerical part only. You can't skip the theory part. Theory must be done. Similarly, from these 5 short notes, 2 or 3 are asked from FM and 2 or 3 are asked from financial institutions, financial markets institutions. So, from both of these questions are asked, theory is must here. Means in paper 1, you can't leave theory part. Compulsory short notes are asked from all the 6 areas. There have been candidates, one candidate, she didn't take care of this segregation of the syllabus in 3 attempts. In her 3rd attempt also, though she got 22nd rank by attempting 4 questions in commerce in paper 1. You asked the query? She didn't ask query. In her first attempt, she attempted question number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Second attempt also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Third attempt also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Super intelligent. Making an error. She was from SRCC. Making an error that you have to attempt 2 questions from section B. Saloni Rai. Saloni Rai. But in spite of making error of 1 question, she got 22nd rank. Had she taken care of this segregation, she would have been the topper or in top 10. So, have to do theory well. Not only this, at least one part of the question is theory. Come back. Now, let us discuss these 6 areas in detail. 6 areas in detail. First is financial accounting. Section A, financial accounting. There are 2-3 pages only or 4-5 pages to study here. 4-5 pages. So we don't count it as a major chapter. Basics of accounting are there, utility of accounting information. There are 4 to 6 pages only. Though if you prepare it, it may take 1 month. If you prepare accounting standards, unit number 2 is accounting standards. It may take 1 month. Even thereafter, may not be having hold. There are around 11-12 accounting standards in your syllabus. But we suggest prepare around 12 pages. We give. Out of that 12 pages, you can write appropriate answer. For 1 or 2 extra marks, we can't prepare for 1 month. Right? If we put that time in other areas. And another is UPSC is not asking hardcore accounting standard or too depth questions from accounting standards. If someone has done 12-15 pages well, So here compulsory short note can be answered well, because your focus would be compulsory short note. Wherever any chapter is tough, our focus will shift from choice based question to compulsory question, and that is theoretical. You should do it well. It is theory only. You should do it well in numerical manner. Accounting for share capital transactions, you can say +2 level. So if you revise +2 level issue of shares, possibly question will be asked there from only. You search any past year UPSC question, you will find it from that is +2 level book or any private author. Right. Preparation and presentation of company final accounts. Generally, this area is tricky. If not tricky, time consuming. Final accounts time consuming. And it is important for numerical only. I put triple tick marks here, rather 4 tick marks. It must be done. These 12 pages must be done. 4 to 6 pages must be done. But here, preparation presentation of final accounts, it should be done. Double tick mark only means much effort should not be done here. But if you are already having good hold over final accounts, format of final accounts, it should be done. Don't leave it, but first do other areas. Amalgamation, absorption, reconstruction of the companies, it is more important for theory. Many times for 10 consecutive years, questions were not asked. Though recent trend is numerical, and many candidates are having an issue in this area, amalgamation accounting, though we'll try to take it in the best possible manner. But those having issue in numericals of this, theory to sabhi jagah karna aapko. There is no option choice about theory. Then you can do theory only. Theory only, right? And those having good hold, nothing should be left. Nothing should be left. Because if everything is well done, then you will, in examination, you will be having choice. Without choice, you can't get desired marks. Right. We'll be having around 18 classes. And from this section, around 35 to 50 mark questions are asked. 35 to 50 marks questions are asked. So there are 4 main chapters. Accounting standards. In first reading, it may take 3 days, 4 days. Second reading, you can think how many time 12 pages will take. Issue of shares or share capital transactions, if your +2 level fundamentals are still on the mind, it will take 2 days, max 3 days. Final accounts, 3 days. Amalgamation will take 4 or 5 days. We will cover it in around 20 days. Now come to cost accounting. Comparing all the other areas, cost accounting syllabus is more, because it is having weightage of 40 to 50 marks. (40 to 50 marks). First two chapters are theory only or basic concepts. Theory only or basics. And definitely they are very important, because without having clarity of these, it will be difficult for the remaining chapters. In cost accounting, three things are covered in your syllabus. First is methods, second is techniques, and third is systems. Methods of costing, techniques of costing, systems of costing. This is the scope of cost accounting. These are the methods of costing. Methods of costing. Three methods are covered: job costing, process costing, activity-based costing. And this is a technique of costing. Techniques of costing. And though it is written techniques of cost control and cost reduction, but this is method of costing. Method of costing. Really it is method of costing. We'll discuss it in detail later. In cost accounting, problematic areas are should I use red? Problematic areas are process costing and for someone standard costing. Process costing and standard costing means we'll have to do harder work, detailed work, solve more and more numerical equations. Otherwise, other areas are easy to manage. So this is theory, and from methods of costing, job costing, process costing, activity-based costing, from everywhere numerical questions are asked. Both numerical and theory questions are asked here from numerical and theory questions. Job costing, it is a matter of 2 hours only. 2 hours reading. In class will take 30 minutes only or 1 hour. Once you have done other chapters well, job costing will take less time. Activity based costing will take 3 to 4 hours only. And among all these, this is very important. Activity based costing is very important. Even during exam days, no need to revise activity based costing if during past 6 months you have done it. But in process costing, revision would be necessary. Revision would be required. Because there are many situations in process costing. In this fourth part, this is most important in total commerce. Every year questions are asked. It includes 3 things. 1, marginal costing. Second, CVP analysis. And third is differential costing. In unit number 4, marginal costing, CVP analysis and differential costing are covered. From differential costing, question is not asked. Though you can do it well. So in complete paper 1, paper 2, this is very important, marginal costing, CVP, that is done well at graduation level also. If someone wants to do only 1 or 2 chapters, I'll say do CVP analysis, CVP. That would be, because generally question is asked, theory and numerical questions are asked. From standard costing, from this area, generally numerical questions are asked. numerical questions. And this is theory only. But in total commerce, while doing cost accounting, you will feel that I am putting so much effort, because the almost same time will be taken by financial management. Costing will take around 16-18 classes. FM takes around 30 classes. From costing, just 40 mark questions are asked. From FM, 120 marks questions are asked. But we'll have to do. We'll start with cost accounting. I won't discuss taxation in much detail because this is not my area, but I'll tell here taxation, from taxation both theory and numerical questions are asked. Both theory and numerical, equally important. You can say highest marks fetching. Because you have to write law. You have to write legal provisions only. And here 40 to 55 mark questions are asked. And here it is individual only, not firm, not company, not trusts, individual only, and have knowledge of HUF also. Practically individual plus HUF. Individual plus HUF. And you are asked current FY, current assessment year. Current assessment year. For example, you will be appearing mains 2023. So, assessment year 23, 24 will be applicable. And will be taking classes as per 23-24 only in the month of November, December. So that is about taxation. In taxation there are around 15 classes of 2.5 hours each. So it is around 35 to 40 hour class. Auditing is most rewarding. Complete auditing, there are around 40 pages. Though in your book it has, these are 70 pages, but every page is printed 70% only. There is a lot of margin on the right hand side to make it thick. Right? कुछ तो thick हो, उसके बाद भी वो बहुत पतली है auditing की book. Staple भी नहीं होता वो तो. 40 pages and there are 4 classes. We conduct 2 basic classes. 2 basic classes and 4 subject classes. Means as per syllabus. And marks weightage is around 30 marks. 30 marks. So if we do it continuously, within 3 days you can have hold over audit. Main hold would be required about writing language, writing the language of an auditor. That would be developed in these basic classes. Through lectures also our focus would be that writing ability is developed. Professionals are better in auditing part, writing the answers but our discussion would enable you also. Right. There would be around 6 classes, maybe 7 if we discuss any area in detail. And questions are largely predictable. That question will be asked on bank audit. In bank audit, question may be asked on audit of NPAs. In insurance companies, question may be asked on insurance premium, insurance claims, or question can be asked on audit of hospital, audit of charitable dispensary, etc. Or appointment of auditors, removal of auditors. Right. So this is section A. Section A. Now section B. Financial management. If you compare section A and section B, section A is so heavy. If we count number of classes, financial accounting, it will take around 16 classes, cost accounting 16, 32, I am counting lesser number. Taxation also 14, 32, 46, and audit. So more than 50 classes would be there, or 55 classes. But so far as financial management is concerned, in 32 classes it will be done well. Though we are not taking financial market institutions, but if it is taken, it will take 5 to 6 classes. So relatively the syllabus of financial management is lesser. Not only lesser, it is more specific also. More specific. So section B, you can attempt 150 mark questions out of 200. Out of 4 questions, you can attempt 3 questions from this area. Right? And here all the chapters are equally important. In FM there are 8 chapters. So 8 chapters must be done very well. We are going to finish in the May batch for those who have joined from 25th June. So for them, financial management will be taken immediately after completion of remaining classes, that is in the month of November, right, and December. So from finance part, out of 150, you can attempt 100 to 120. So from financial market institutions part, you can attempt 50 to 30 marks. 50 to 30 marks. If you see complete commerce, this is the area from where current affair based question may be asked. Current affair based question only on 2 parties. One is RBI and second is SEBI. May be asked on IRDA also. But this is the area of current affairs because a lot is happening on venture capital. Our PM is saying that we are having more than 100 unicorns. We are having 70,000 startups. So this is a call for the paper setter to set a question from venture capital. Come to financial management. So there are 8 chapters in financial management. Sorry. In financial management, chapter number 1 and 2 are theory only, and chapter number 3 to 7 are theory and numericals. Theory and numericals. And it must be done well. This is most important. Even those who are having weakness in financial management, I suggest them first see recorded class and thereafter attend the live batch. In the June batch, there were certain candidates in BCom second year, so told that sir, my FM is not strong. I told you have to make FM strong. So if basics of finance are not strong, so you can do that also. You can, in advance, you can see the recorded class, thereafter attend the live class, so that it is strengthened. Most important is, in paper 1, if you attempt question of final accounts, process costing, and amalgamation, even income tax, they take a lot of time. In part 1, section A, question on final accounts, generally size of the question is 1 page, more than 1 page. So it may take 45 to 50 minutes or 35 to 50 minutes. Amalgamation, if you didn't attempt similar question earlier, it will take a lot of time. Process costing also, if you have to prepare 3 process accounts, normal loss, abnormal loss accounts also, calculations also, so that is also time consuming. And income tax, if you are asked question on house property only, then okay. But if you are asked a full-fledged question, salary income, house property income, exemptions, deductions, so comparing section A, you have to do that also. Comparing section A, yes, comparing section A, this would be more rewarding. So we have to do it well. And it is fully conceptual. This is fully conceptual. Concept rich subject. Why we should prefer concept? So part section A is also concept rich, but you can't demonstrate your concept. But here you can demonstrate your concept. So we have to do it well. Right? So this was overview about paper 1. Now you can ask your queries. We can connect online candidates also. Only one. ओके, यहाँ से आएंगे ना. How to minimize it? So you can ask your queries. Pardon? Yes, question from budget 23. Definitely budget 23 will not be relevant for income tax purpose, because Finance Act 23 will provide base for assessment year 24-25. So that won't be relevant. Yes, any other query with regard to paper 1, or you can ask general query about commerce.
Sir, numerical में full marks मिलते हैं क्या?
Yes, in numerical question you can get full marks, but conditions are: first condition is your answer should be accurate. Accuracy is topmost. Second, you have used correct formula, right technique. लाल तरीके से नहीं किया आपने. For example, question of marginal costing, So formulas must be used. Question of CVP analysis, CVP formula must be used. So second is must use right technique while solving the question. And third, there must be proper flow. There must be proper flow, and that flow must be visible. Step 1, step 2, step 3. For example, if you are asked a question on calculation of overall cost of capital. So step 1 is computation of specific cost of capital. Question number 2, computing different weights. Step 2, computing different weights, and step 3, overall cost of capital. You are asked question on final accounts. So must write in proper format, proper disclosures. So if accuracy is there and proper format and proper flow is there, you can get perfect marks. But if accuracy is also there, flow is also there, format is also there, but your handwriting is poor, then it will give the examiner opportunity to deduct 1 or 2 marks. So I add handwriting, though handwriting is not very important, but it is human nature. It should be legible, that is written by UPSC also. Even UPSC has published one document, what mistakes not to make. No. What mistakes you should not make. So you should not write Jai Shri Ram or Om or means whatever. Definitely your feelings, religious sentiments are there, but you can't express there. Right. Any other query? Yes, calculator can be used, and I suggest this kind of calculator. The normal calculator we use, that can be used by you. Right. Scientific calculator can be used, but it should not be programmable. I don't know what is programmable calculator, but the usual calculator we use, that is allowed. In mains only. In prelims it is not allowed. Yes. It is step marking. His query is about step marking. It is discretion of the examiner. If you had made any clerical error only, so examiner may deduct 1 or 2 marks. If you have made any fundamental error, for example, you are calculating taxable income of an individual, and you don't know how to calculate taxable value of rent-free accommodation. That works at heart of the calculation. So examiner may give, out of 15 marks, may give 10 or 9 only, even 8. Right? But even 5 marks out of 15, because all of your calculations will be wrong. Total income is wrong. Any other query?
Sir, ledger के नीचे working notes देना जरूरी है सर?
Okay. The query is, should we write working notes below ledger? See, in paper 1, you won't be having sufficient time to even write the main solution. So, the only necessary calculation should be given. Extra should be avoided. For example, if you are solving a question of issue of shares, and you are making a journal entry, share forfeiture, that is share capital account debit to forfeiture account. So, how did you calculate that amount? That should be written briefly, but don't write much detail. So, only those working notes that contain detail of something, that should be written. Other theory or explanation should not be written. Yes. No. See, at professional level, the amendments which are up to 6 months before the exam, they are to be covered. But at a UPSC level, there is no such need. Paper setter is not that. UPSC doesn't ask us that advanced questions or that latest questions. Even sometimes 2-year-old provision is asked. Last year question was asked, which house should be selected by a person for that is which house should be selected for exemption purpose. 2 houses were given, but the provision is now you can select 2 houses for self-occupation purpose. Let us take some online queries. Yes, you can ask. Onliners, you can ask your queries. Kumar Swami, Chandra Vahini. Am I audible? So as you said earlier that as per the trend 270 are on the better side, so what can we do? Score. Definitely, I don't think UPSC will bring down the score below 270. We need to work harder. We need to work harder. You will be competing with the science people, those who have already faced competition. BTech, IITs, उनके साथ competition आपका. Very strong at memorizing. रट्टू होते हैं बहुत तगड़े. Conceptual understanding तो टिप्स पे होता ही होता है जिसने एक बार पहले कंपटीशन लड़ लिया. So you will have to work harder in your optional. But the problem is we take our optional for granted. So what we do, we make average preparation, assuming that अरे final accounts आता है. But in examination, some tricky issues asked. I know how to calculate total income of an individual, but paper setter asked that a person is having his agriculture land in Australia, and that was not seen earlier. So we should do zero-based preparation. Means good level of understanding, high level of understanding, and a good level of memory also, and a lot of practice. Lot of practice. Let us take queries here. So, can we use calculator? Yes, calculator is allowed, just like in graduation. $270 or better side discussed. Coaching material or standard books of graduation, what should be preferred? Our study material would be enough. Right? Though we have given a list of books also, but you won't be having time to go for those. My recommendation would be keep same books. Books won't be the issue. Main issue would be writing practice. So if you are having sufficient time, do writing practice. When you will do writing practice, new things will come from your side also. So more practice is needed, new books are not needed. Maximum marks in theory questions. If you see 2019, our student Keshav Goyal, he got 178 marks out of 250 in paper 2. How much it is? 178 out of 250. It is 71% marks. So I think 71% marks is achievable. And step marking is there. Definitely step marking is there. There is no 0 or 100% marks. Depending upon accuracy level, marks are awarded. Okay. You can ask queries.
Sir, minimum कितने marks की numerical में attempt कर सकते हैं?
Minimum, I think at least 75 marks opportunity would be there in paper 1. And on an average, 90 to 100. Means be prepared for 175 marks theory in paper 1.
Sir, is there any specific structure for writing numerical questions? Like, for example, final accounts में
Yes.
working note is there.
Her query is there any specific structure of writing numericals? Yes, The query is whether there is specific structure of writing numericals. Yes, there is structure, but there is no common structure. It will depend from topic to topic. For example, you are solving a question on final accounts. You have to prepare statement of P&L, you have to prepare balance sheet and notes of the accounts. So there are only 3 parts. If you are solving a question on issue of shares, there will be 2 or 3 parts: journal entries, cash book, and working notes. If you are solving a question on amalgamation accounting, calculation of purchase consideration, thereafter entries in the books of transferor company, in the books of transferee company, certain as necessary accounts like realization account. So whatever is given in the textbook, write that only, but write it well. Well means don't write slanting lines, don't have too many cuttings. So the way you have been writing in plus 2 level, neat, clean, beautiful answer, try to write it that way, but not at the cost of speed. There must be good speed. Similarly, in case of financial management, in case of cost accounting, for every chapter there would be different way of solving the question. So while reading specific chapters, you will learn how to write numerical answer.
Sir, if there is any clause in any question, जिसमें बहुत सारी चीजें पूछो, उनमें से कोई एक चीज हमें नहीं आ रही हो, तो should we go for that question or just leave it?
I'll say very important question, particularly in income tax. In income tax, you might be given around 20-25 information, and you don't know the treatment of any particular information. For example, last year you were given information about an individual. There was income from agricultural land in Australia. So you are doubtful about it. Definitely avoid this question if you don't know. But it is not avoidable because other 2 parts are attractive and you are not having any other choice. So this is the best choice. In that case, ignore it or just skip. You can write agricultural income from Australia. You write dash, not nil. Nil means it is exempted. Dash means it is in doubt for you. So definitely you will get marks for the treatment of remaining 19 items or 15 items. Examiner may deduct 5 marks for just 1 item, but at least you are getting 15 marks. Let us take more questions. कहाँ तक कर लिया था हमने? Step marking. Any other reference books for the rankers material is sufficient? Reference books not needed, though we have given a list of books at the end of this handout, but you won't be having time. My suggestion is, having extra time, do writing practice. Having extra time, do writing practice. That is more important. Out of 15 marks theory, how many marks a candidate should get? I think at least 10 marks a candidate will get. 10 marks. That constitute 66%. Right? 10 marks, even 12 marks. But we'll try to have preparation for 12 marks, 13 marks, 80% marks potential. I have shared one document, how to write answers in paper 1, paper 2. That was mailed. Everyone must have got it. This is my experience of past 20 years. So read it 2-3 times, underline it well, and that will make your mind. I can't speak that much detail, so I have written it in 10 pages. Complete analysis. Do past year questions repeat in exam? Definitely there is repetition. In financial management there is a lot of repetition because there are only 8 chapters, and out of 8 chapters paper setter has to ask around 150 mark questions. You can attempt 100, 120, but in financial management you are asked 4 questions. Financial management and financial institutions, you are asked 4 questions. Out of 4 questions, these are not 4 questions. In FM and FI part, you are asked question number 4, 5, 6, not 4. Question number 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 5 questions here, 3 questions here, 3 questions here, 3 questions here. So you are asked 14 questions. So at least 3-4 questions are repeated directly or indirectly. And spirit of the questions is repeated in most of the cases. You can say around 70% questions are repeated if you see the spirit of the question. Means there is too much merit to do practice of past year questions, and we do it well. That is very important because it will provide you idea about what kind of questions are asked. Not only idea. Sometimes UPSC has been asking a question in direct manner last year, in direct manner this year.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, definitely.
Sir, is there any limited space given to us in the main exam? Can't we ask for any supplementary sheet and paper?
Definitely not. Very good question. There is yes, Anna. There is limited space. For a 10 marker question, you will get 2 pages only. For 15 marker question, 3 pages in paper 1. And for a 20 marker question, you will get 4 pages in paper 1. Means for every 5 marks, you get 1 page.
So, sir, there is no scope for crossing the question and starting it afresh.
Let me say, in paper 2, you will get 10 marker and 20 markers only. For a 10 marker, you will get 2 pages, and for a 20 marker, you will get 3 pages, not 4 pages. So there will be shortage of space there may be shortage of space in paper 2, particularly while writing 20 marker question. You can ask your query again. Second query. Anna, your second.
I was saying that in case if we have done some question incorrectly, so there is no scope for getting any extra space in that case.
Definitely no. So, yes, and you must select the question cautiously. You can attempt another question. But your time and time is wasted. You can cross, for example, you attempted 4th question. So you can cross 4th question. Even you can write note for evaluation. If you cross it, definitely it won't be evaluated. So you can attempt 3rd question. But your time is wasted. So think well before choosing any question. Any other query? Yes, word limit is there. Word limit is there for 10 markers around 150 words. And you would pay attention also in paper 1. For 10 marker short note, generally the word limit is maximum 150 words. Pay attention to the word maximum. If it is written around, then you can go 160 also. In the rare case, you can go 165, 170 also. If it is written 150, if maximum 150, you should write in 140, 145, even 130, 135. And generally in paper 2, this maximum word is replaced by around 150 words. So in paper 2, because it is theory and there are many dimensions, so UPSC gives you enough opportunity to write more details. But for paper 1 is concerned, it is very specific. You can't write your story. In paper 2, you can write your story. Your story means your assessment about this world. But in paper 1, about deductions and exemptions, no, you have to write deductions, exemptions only. If you are asked NPV technique, there is no current affair about NPV technique. There is nothing extra about NPV technique. If you are asked economic order quantity, so you have to write 99.99% bookish answer. So that's why possibly maximum word is written in paper 1 short notes, and around what is written in paper 2 short notes. Further, word limit is prescribed for short notes only. Let us see word limit. Word limit it is given for short notes only. That is maximum or around 150 words. You know short notes carry 10 marks each. Right? For rest of the questions there is no word limit. But you should follow it. For example, if you are attempting any answer of 15 marks in paper 1, not in paper 2. In paper 2 there are 10 and 20 marker only. 15 marks, so 150 you can write in around 180 to 200 words. Means around 1.5 times of this. In paper 2, you will be attempting 10 marks long answer question, 10 marks long answer question. Which long answer question? No. Yes. This is long answer question. This is not short note. This is short note 10 marks. This is long answer question 10 mark. So, though here word limit is not prescribed, but you are given 2 pages. So, ideally your answer should be in 150 words. If you are having lot of stuff, you can write 200 also. You can finish in 130, even 100 words or 110 words. And rest are truly long answer question. For them, you are given 3 pages. 3 pages means around 200 to 250 words. Word limit is not prescribed, but 200 to 250 words. For numericals, there is no point of word limit, but you have to take care of page limit. Page limit. In paper 1, page limit would be there. For 15 marker, you will get around 3 pages. For 20 marker, you will get 4 pages. You need to be alert about 20 markers. Sometimes 4 pages may not be sufficient. For example, if you are solving a question of process costing, final accounts, amalgamation, so there may be shortage of space. Yes. Any other query? No need to buy any book. Yes. Yes, you ask your query.
Good afternoon, sir.
Okay. From this side. Good afternoon. Yes, welcome.
Sir, section A और section B में ज़्यादा scoring कौन सा है?
In paper 1, na? In paper 1?
Yes, sir.
Definitely financial management.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Even we are thinking to have 10 more classes in financial management because it is so important. We should specialize it into it. And it is spoken by result also. Those who have done masters in finance, they have got a better result better marks in paper 1. Any query from your side?
So standards in days or normal standards?
The query is in accounting standards, should we do Ind AS or existing accounting standards? We have to do a mix of both. And we have prepared 12 pages that consist of mix of both. First, I identified the common areas. For example, valuation of inventory. It is common whether Ind AS or AS. So if you are asked valuation of inventory as per Ind AS, so you write as per Ind AS, valuation of inventory should be done in this manner. Right? Cost or net realizable value. But if you are asked accounting for fixed assets, so it should be done as per Ind AS, that is plant, property and equipment. Right? So we have prepared a smart mix of both so that if UPSC asks either, you can do that. But you should focus more on Ind AS. Because if you are asked Ind AS and you write AS, it is penalizing. If you are asked AS and you write Ind AS, it should be rewarded. That the person is writing latest one. So you can write one line, accounting standards are replaced by Ind AS. Accordingly, accounting treatment of fixed assets as per AS 16 is as follows. Plant, property, equipment. So, but since in your syllabus AS is given, it is not updated to include Ind AS. So we have to do a smart mix of both. We have already done in 12 to 15 pages. Right? So more queries. Will you create a WhatsApp Telegram group? Yes, we will create WhatsApp group, but it may take time. Presently we are busy in administrative work. So we are not well staffed. We will do it later. And AS also, I suggested how much time should we give for optional with GS. In optional, we will be taking around 150 classes. 150 classes of, on an average, 2 hours 20 minutes or 2.5 hours each. So 150 multiply 2.5. So it comes around 400 hours. It would be around 400 hours or 375 hours. Right? So no other query. So let us move ahead. 4-5 minute break we can take. Generally we take break at 12:30. Right? We will resume thereafter. So we should put off Google Meet. Sorry. Or we can keep it live also. let us see further. We won't discuss paper 2 in detail, it will be taken later. Come to page number 8 of the strategy document, page number 8. Let us summarize paper 1. From paper 1, from accounts, 40 to 50 mark questions are asked. Sometimes, rarely 70 mark questions are asked. And similar is the case of cost accounting. There are chances of asking more questions from cost accounting. Maybe 10 marks. Tax, that is fixed. There is no major change here. Audit is more fixed. 30, 35, always. And from FM, you will get opportunity of minimum 100 marks. Maximum you can attempt 150. From financial institutions, so 30 to 50 mark questions are asked. This is out of 400. So, if you attempt from this section 150, so from these 4 parts, you will attempt 100 marks. I repeat, this is out of 400 marks, 8 questions. So out of this 200, from here 4 questions will be asked, 50 marks each, that is 200. So you can attempt maximum 3 questions, so 150, and out of this total would be 200. That is 4 questions of 50 marks each. So you will have to attempt 100. Question 1 is compulsory. We have already discussed numericals. I should modify it. It should be 100 marks. So theory would be 175 marks to 150 marks. Numerical would be, you will get minimum 75 marks, normally 100 marks, and theory you will get 175, 150, 250, 250. So we will have to do theory well. When we will conduct test, we will conduct test in a manner that first we will conduct test of numericals and later we will do test of theory only. For example, in financial management, what we have done, we conducted test of numericals while taking the concepts, and now FM test will be held on 2nd July for those previous batch candidates. We will ask theory questions only. Because if we ask theory and numerical simultaneously, neither is prepared well. So first it is easy to have hold over numericals, that is tested, and thereafter we will strengthen theory. So same pattern will be followed in cost accounting also. During classes, chapter test will be held for numericals, and on completion of this cost accounting subject, we will conduct theory test. Now let us see type of questions asked. Type of questions asked. First is direct concept questions. Just like plus 2, just like 10th or 11th standard. What is economic order quantity? Illustrate its calculation. How inventory is valued as per accounting standard 2. What is annual value? How annual value is calculated in case of partly rented house property. So these are the direct questions where you have knowledge of the concept, you write it, facts write it, right? Direct concept. You can say around 50% of the theory questions are direct. Around 50%. Rather more than 50%. More than 50% of the questions are direct. And thereafter, UPSC necessarily asked analytical questions. Analytical questions. You can say indirect manner of asking question, or analytical means indirect manner, or analytical means many dimensions. Many dimensions. Inspiring critical thinking. Let me explain simplest way rather, not simple way. Going home at evening, I can ask for water. Give me a glass of water. That is a direct question, right? I may ask it indirectly also. Why I should not take water? Went home, sitting in the drawing room and asking daughter or wife, why I should not take water? Then they will start thinking, yes, Papa, you should take water. You have come from outside, you have come from office, this. So they will have to think about why water should be taken. That is analytical way of asking something. From academic point of view, in every analytical question there are three dimensions. If you are asked positives and negatives, if you are asked comparison among concepts, if you are asked past, present, future, this is analytical question. I have searched most of the questions, I have studied most of the questions, nothing more than this. For example, if you are asked, critically appraise NPV technique of capital budgeting. Critically appraise NPV technique of capital budgeting. Or capital budgeting is not a fully reliable technique. Sorry. NPV is not a fully reliable technique of capital budgeting. What is the message? Tell me positives and tell me negatives. Tell me positives. If you are asked, mention merits of NPV technique. It is a direct question. If I mix two things, NPV technique is not fully reliable for decision making. It means I have to write to what extent it is usable or reliable and to what extent it is not reliable. So if you are asked positives and negatives of the concept, it is analytical. But you must be able to identify that you are asked positives and negatives or comparison with other concept or past, present, future. Let us see past, present, future. If you are asked, monetary and credit policy of RBI has become less effective today. You are writing past. 20 years back, if RBI changed CRR just by 25 paise, it affected supply of money. But today it is not affecting supply of money due to alternative modes of transactions. People not keeping money in banks. Our money is there in wallets. That won't be affected. So here you write past, that 20 years back RBI was effective. But for the past 1 decade, particularly due to financial innovations, particularly due to instant credit, particularly due to dominance of the private sector, those who have been charging 2% interest, 24% per annum, they don't mind whether RBI is increasing by 0.5% or 0.25%. So, past, present, future. Or gradually SEBI is tightening the capital market in a better manner. So, you'll write, it was a time in 1990s, SEBI was just a document filing institution. And now, so you have to write past, present, future if there is a historical touch to any institution. Historical touch to any institution. Or the way we are managing inventory has changed significantly. Explain. So in the past there was manual accounting of inventory. In the past heavy inventory levels were maintained, but today on account of information technology, on account of better infrastructure, there is no need to have heavy inventory. We can work with lower level of inventory. Automation reduces need for heavy stock. We can have very small size stock. So past, present, future. You may be asked comparison among concepts. For example, net income approach versus net operating income approach. Do you really think that capital structure matters? Explain. As per net income approach, capital structure matters. As per net operating income approach, capital structure doesn't matter. Right? Discounted cash flow techniques are finding more popularity today. Elaborate. Discounted cash flow techniques are finding more popularity today. It is not a question on history. It is a question on concept to concept. Earlier, payback period technique, accounting rate of return technique were used. But now there is emphasis on time value of money. So NPV technique and IRR technique have become more useful. I think analytical question will be having either of these three dimensions. Accurate assessment of what kind or which dimension is to be written is very important. You are asked this and you are writing this. You may get 2 out of 10 only or 1 out of 10 only, consolation marks. There are 99% chances you will be able to identify what is asked, but at times when there is pressure, time pressure in the examination hall, you are prone to make mistake. Means these are also direct questions if you understand the demand accurately. For example, if you are asked, write merits and demerits of NPV technique. Right? Merits and demerits of NPV technique. It is a direct question. If you are asked, NPV technique is not much reliable for capital budgeting. What you are asked? Merits and demerits. So in case of analytical questions, you have to change intro and conclusion only. Main body would remain same. Main body would remain same. Right? Third is numerical questions, that is in paper 1 only. These are in paper 2 also, paper 1 also. Application based questions, paper 2. But only 2-3 areas are there, maximum 2 to 3 areas. And that is also rare. When UPSC wants to make the question paper tough, for example, 2012 and 13, UPSC was discouraging optionals. There was a momentum to remove optionals. So, UPSC asked tough questions in paper 2, application based questions in paper 2. And current affair based questions, very rarely, it may be asked particularly in financial markets and institutions, FMIs, particularly monetary and credit policy of RBI. So on RBI or on SEBI or on IRDA, it may be asked. But current affairs have sound effect on most questions. I speak sound effect on most questions. For example, individual's assessment was asked. Individual's calculation of total income of individual was asked. And today Indians are moving across the globe. It is natural to have agriculture income abroad. It is natural to have income from abroad. So a global perspective was there in question on individual. Information technology is there in use. So in financial management, IT may be asked. Today's world is globalized. So you may be asked financial management challenges in a globalized world. So concurrent developments affect the mind of the examiner to ask relevant technique or relevant model, or one element which is matching with the current development. For example, if corporate dividend tax is introduced or removed, CDT is introduced or removed. So while asking question on cost of capital, CDT may be put in the question. It is asked by UPSC 2 times during past 2-3 years. So something which is in news may affect selection of the question. For example, there was issue of foreign exchange. There was issue on application of accounting standard 11, 6, 7 or 8 years back, rather 10 years back. So UPSC asked question accounting for change in foreign exchange rates. UPSC may not ask direct question, what has been the issue? You might write just 2 lines only. You may not be expected by UPSC to write the concurrent development. But if something is asked, it is having some link with the current developments. Now, let us see theory questions. Paper 1, paper 2. One kind of theory questions are explanatory. You just elaborate something. For example, what is marginal costing? Illustrate with example. So you have to just write meaning of marginal costing, assumptions of marginal costing. You are given just a small balloon and you have to inflate it. No critical thinking. Elaborative. And other questions are critical analysis. Here you have to write multiple dimensions or cross-examine. How to cross-examine? If you write merits, write demerits. If you write present, write past, write future. Or concept to concept comparison. Or institution to institution comparison. In case you are explanatory question, we have to write a detail only. Then these words would be used. Explain, elaborate, expound. Generally these 3 words are used. And if critical thinking is required, then these words are used. Examine, critically examine. There is no difference between examine and critically examine. Discuss, throw light, evaluate, assess. Though these are having different dictionary meanings, but in all of these you have to write this or this or this or this. Because by just reading the question you can assess, for example, with regard to SEBI and RBI, institution to institution comparison cannot be asked. UPSC cannot ask compare SEBI with RBI because these are 2 different institutions. On SEBI and RBI, UPSC can ask question on their effectiveness, their past, present and future. But on NPV technique, there is nothing like past, present and future. On NPV technique, what can be asked? Merits, demerits. On economic order quantity, past, present, future, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. You can be asked merits, limitations, or comparison with any other technique. So, in analytical questions, the demand of the question is generally clear to you that on these things, this kind of question can be asked. Right. Now, level of difficulty of questions. UPSC's focus is easy. If you ask level of difficulty, UPSC's trend is easy. Particularly for the past 2 years. UPSC wants participation of people from all over India. And general attitude of UPSC is anti-coaching. If tough questions are asked, generally those who have taken coaching, they would be in a beneficial position. So what is the strategy of the UPSC? Set easy questions. Set easy questions. And if candidates get very high marks, do scaling. So we should not prepare for too much tough questions. We should be tough at writing practice. Because it is difficult to write a very attractive answer for an easy question. What is marginal costing? It is easy to think. But when you will start writing, first 2 lines would be okay. Thereafter, there would be repetition. Thereafter, errors will start. Thereafter, flow problems will start. So it may be difficult to write easy answer. But if we see past trend, around 40% questions are easy. Means direct questions are asked. Paper setter also knows that, yes, candidate will start writing answer to this. And that is purpose also. Creating difficulty is not the purpose. Checking your conceptual clarity is the purpose. Checking advanced level knowledge in every area is not the purpose. Because it is not advanced level exam, it is a selection process. It is not research process. It is not expertise process. For example, if someone is going to be selected for master's course or for PhD, doctorate course, then tough questions should be asked so that only tougher persons having in-depth knowledge should go there. So, here most important requirement is smartness. And common man approach. I can say the approach you adopted at +2 level. The learner. Other than handwriting, write whatever you have been writing at +2 level. Same way. And this is 40-50% of 8 questions. 40-50% of 8 questions. Means 60 to 65% answers would be from easy part. And around 50% standard questions. Standard means you can say become honors level. And it happens in specific cases only. Specific case only. For example, UPSC wants to discourage any particular optional. For example, if there are many selections from any optional, then UPSC brings it down by asking tough questions. But it is not every year. If you see last 10 years, only in 2013 and possibly 2016, some questions were tough. 13 definitely UPSC was discouraging it. And UPSC has prescribed such a lengthy syllabus to keep choice with the paper setter. On a regular basis, questions would be predictable. But the year UPSC wants to create a problem, means want to scale down selection from any particular optional, then paper setter is having ease. He may ask question from an area which is not yet touched. So you didn't cover that area well, you are caught there. Now, good score in commerce. Though this strategy is given in detail in 10 pages, still main requirements. Most important requirement is perfect conceptual clarity. That is most important requirement. Perfect conceptual clarity. Your position is going to be more important than a judge. If someone has to decide, two persons are there, one is intelligent person and another is fool person. You have to select one person as judge and another person as administrator. What will be your choice? Two posts are vacant. One is that of judge and another is that of administrator. Two persons are there. One is intelligent and another is average person or fool person. Where you will put? A judge can be fool person. Administrator must not be a fool person. Because administrator will take action and there is no check over his actions before action is taken. So where judge is concerned, the two advocates are there to make the mind of the judge. They won't permit the judge to deliver wrong judgment. Both the sides will stress the mind of the judge. They will check that no, this is not the right thing. This argument is wrong. This argument is wrong. So advocates provide learning to the judge, but no one provides learning to administrator. So your copy is examined from this perspective, perfect conceptual clarity, very perfect conceptual clarity. Even thin line of difference must be known to you. Difference between terrorist and extremist must be known to you very well. If you confuse both of these together, you are going to make mistake in administration. And factual hold definitely to write content rich answer. On the basis of conceptual clarity, you can write around 50% of the answer, and remaining 50% you need to have hold. So frequent revision would be required. Some sort of rectification would be required. I'll say 3 points everywhere. You can set a standard of memorizing 3 points everywhere, keeping in mind 3 points everywhere. For example, merits of NPV 3 points, demerits 3 points. Because if you will give your brain a certainty, it will be easy for you to remember. And if you remember 3 points very well, 4th and 5th will come automatically. Further, UPSC will not give you opportunity to write too many points. For example, UPSC won't ask question on merits only, merits of NPV technique. 10 marker question cannot be asked. You are asked critically appraise NPV technique of capital budgeting. You have to write concept also, formula also, half page gone. Merits, 3 points will take half page. Demerits will take 3 points, half page. Thereafter conclusion. Right? So when you are having factual hold, sufficient number of points that can be delivered in exam. And in your notes, triple tick mark is there. Triple and double tick should be done equally. Triple and double tick. There is only psychological difference between the two. So focus well on triple tick mark. If you want to do Google, you can Google on triple tick mark items. Your innovation, your way, that can be done on triple tick. Right? Okay, I have written here double tick. Memory of key points in case of single tick mark. You can't have hold over every item. So for a qualitative study, take care of tick marks in your notes. In every chapter or every page it is. If at the top of the page triple tick mark is there, it means complete page is important. If at main heading triple tick mark is there and in remaining 4 pages there is no tick mark, it means all the 4 pages are triple tick marked. Right. Certain items are marked C, though question may be asked therefrom also. Even it was asked in the year 2018 or 19. I put C on 2 items, Dunlop's model and one more, both asked. But you can't read everything equally, but have brief idea of the core. So that in examination if question is asked by using or borrowing knowledge from other chapters or other concept in the same chapter, If you are able to understand that this question is asked from recruitment, तो उसके बाद तो recruitment लगा देंगे आगे पीछे. In between, you write something about recruitment. A question was asked on recruitment that was not covered by our notes. Repertory grid. So it was from recruitment. So those who could relate it with recruitment, they wrote that to make recruitment process effective, repertory grid should be used. It helps better selection. Right? So essay of cow can be used for buffalo also. And skip the items which are crossed. And very important this. Don't leave any chapter completely. You will be taking risk. In every chapter we have triple tick mark, double tick mark. So in every chapter you can leave 1/3. But don't leave 1/3 of total chapters. Means your knowledge portfolio should be diverse. Right? Because short notes are asked compulsory. So from any chapter they can be asked. And though for 2023 you are having shortage of time, still for these three benefits you can make notes. How to make notes? Generally a problem arises, how much notes? My suggestion is 5% to 10% of the content in the books. I seen many candidates writing half of the size. That is not notes. So in paper 2 there are around 700 pages. So your notes should be in 70 to 100 pages only. 70 to 100 pages. In paper 1 around 100 pages. So in exam days you are having 200 pages. So in second last revision you can revise 200 pages in 5 days very well. And one day before the exam you will be marking more important also. So in over a period of 10 hours, 12 hours you can revise those 200 pages well. So you have to filter down the notes. And my suggestion is make notes in the very first reading. Though it is suggested that toppers also suggest that notes should be made in the second reading. इतनी reading का time कहाँ है? Second reading, third reading. I remember Naveen Jain, IAS. He got 27th rank. So his approach was he used to see the book once only. Reading the book, important points noted. फेंक दिया बुक को साइड में. Unless otherwise something is very important, if full page is important, not having time to note down, निकाल लिया अपने notes में लगा लिया. So you make notes. To me that approach is needed. Something which is already read should not be read again. And commerce is your optional. If new optional is there, same page must be read by you 2-3 times, then only you will have a hold over the spirit of that subject. For example, anthropology. One page is there. Habitation system in South India or any part of the world. On that habitation system, unless you read it 3-4 times, you won't get hold or confidence. But if it is a question about, for example, NPV technique or IRR technique or economic order quantity, before reading you know at least 10%, 15% that here there would be formula, here this kind of example would be there. And one reading will increase your level of awareness to 80-90%. So before you read, contemplate that I am reading NPV technique, what I read at graduation level, forgot. Okay, read it. In very first reading, 70 to 80% awareness level will come. And in revision, it will become 99% or 95%. So if you jot down 5 important points or 8 important points, you can write 1 page. Because already thinking process is developed. And if you get the point, you know the logic behind it. Logic, you can write. So, capitalize your logical knowledge. But to capitalize it, you must know fact. For example, you are writing merits of NPV technique. You must know that consideration of time value of money. So, TVM. If you come to know, then you will write 5 lines or 3 lines. So, headings must be in your memory. How to make notes? There is no common approach. There may be mind map or flow chart or facts or points. For example, on accounting standards, you can make it. But there is limited scope here. Everything cannot be converted into. Main approach is synopsis of concepts. That is the way of making notes. And one candidate may have notes of same chapter in 3 pages, another candidate in 1 page. So there would be different of number of pages. Those who studied that topic very well at graduation level or professional level, half page may suffice. Only hints may suffice. Not studied, you'll have to write more details. But try to write heading only, not subheading and sentences. If you feel that I can't rewrite on the basis of heading won't tell me soul of the concept, then subheading may be written by you. Frequency of revisions. These days, after taking class, you will be making notes. So immediately after making notes, revise it. Note making may take, for one chapter, notes making will take 3 hours. Revision will take 30 minutes or 40 minutes. That is one. And before prelims, to be held in the month of May. So in the month of January, February, maximum March. Not in April and May. So January, February, March, do detailed revision. You may not be able to do detailed revision of everything. For example, for detailed revision of complete commerce, you need 40-50 days. So do one thing, detailed revision of paper 1 only. Or detailed revision of paper 2 only. But do detailed revision. Because if you do brief revision, post prelims you will have to do detailed revision, otherwise confidence won't come. And once revised in detail, immediately after prelims, 1 or 2 days, you will feel that I have forgotten everything. But trust it. For 1 hour or 2 hours, with 1 hour or 2 hours reading only, everything will come back. So one detailed revision before prelims and thereafter brief revision after prelims. If you could not do detailed revision before prelim, after prelims you will have to do detailed revision. So one brief revision and one detailed revision will be required. You can swap it before prelims and after prelims. Without detailed reading, you won't be able to write complete answer, logical answer. And final touch, that is 5 days before or 3 to 5 days prior to exam. But you will be having GS exam at that point of time. So it can be 15 days before or 20-25 days before. For example, if GS is to be held on 1st of next month, so in first week of this month, revise your optional well within 3 to 5 days. Taking 3 days for paper 1, 3 days for paper 2, pack it, and thereafter, if you get 1 day only for your optional, but these days you are getting more time. Sometimes 5-6 days time is there. So accordingly, you can do the final touch in those 5-6 days also. So I suggest 3 broad revisions and 1 final touch. 3 revisions. 1 when you make the notes, one before prelims, one did revision after mains, after prelims, and one immediately before the exam or final test before the exam. Let us see strategy 4. Though I have written it 170, but today it should be 150. It should be 150. Right. And we cannot be too deterministic. It may be 200 also. Because if we see prelims selections this year, prelims, I am coming across only 1 out of 10 candidates who didn't qualify prelims. When I get 10 calls, 9 calls about, sir, I qualified, I cleared prelims. This was not the case last year. Last year we were searching. Last year तो मैं सांत्वना मोड में रहता था हमेशा कि कोई बात नहीं हो जाएगा this that. लेकिन इस बार तो जो है this year, so depends upon UPSC mind also. I already explained exact conceptual clarity, perfect hold over meanings, definitions, assumptions, thoughts, core propositions, formulas. These are subject matter of paper 1. When you come across these things, have hold thereupon. Analytical understanding of concepts. For example, NPV, positives, negatives, how it is related with IRR. Similarly, economic order quantity. How calculated, what are the limitations, what are the assumptions, what are the limitations, and finally, what is the use or utility of economic order quantity. Analytical understanding means 360-degree knowledge. 360-degree knowledge. The concept, its positives, its negatives. And after understanding positives and negatives, what is your final view? Final view is, despite negatives, this is the utility. For example, economic order quantity technique, it cannot be used perfectly. But it is a strong guide for management to take care of holding cost and carrying cost. Try to minimize holding cost and carrying costs. Already explained good hold or memory of facts. 3 points तो कम से कम चाहिए. Ideally 5 points. In our notes, at many places you will find 8 to 10 points also. Don't do 8 to 10 points. Select more important or best 5 points. Remember those 5. Brain will automatically remember remaining. Because when we read consciously, our subconscious also reads. Subconscious reads its own way. Subconscious reads its own way. And practice of numericals. With regard to practice of numericals, an important issue is speed. Speed is a 80% matter of conceptual clarity, and 20% handwriting. When we solve numericals, one candidate is taking 40 minutes and another solved it in 22 minutes. This difference may not be difference due to handwriting. To me, it is largely a difference due to conceptual clarity. For example, a question on final accounts. Two candidates are there. You are given a trial balance having 40 items. If a person is having perfect conceptual clarity, which item is to be put where? Posting of one item takes maximum 10 seconds. If you are having memory of the format, if you are having conceptual clarity, if you are having knowledge of the flow, you will pick item and put at the right place. It will take 40 items are there, 40 items multiply 10 seconds each item, 400 seconds are needed. Now for some calculations and adjustments, you may need 100, maximum 200 more seconds. 600 seconds are needed to make accounting treatment of 40 items. Means 10 minutes. But a candidate is taking 30 minutes or 40 minutes. Let us take 5 minutes are needed for writing the format. 5 more minutes are needed to write in a better manner, balancing also, totaling also. So 20 minutes should be taken. Then why 40 minutes are taken? It is not a matter of handwriting speed. It is a matter of perfection, perfect conceptual clarity and perfect memory. For example, inventory is given in the trial balance. Closing stock is given in the trial balance. What does it mean? Who will answer? Right? If closing stock is given in the trial balance, it means your trial balance consists of adjusted purchase or cost of goods consumed. Cost of goods consumed. Right? Bad debts are given in the trial balance also and in adjustments also. Bad debts are given in the trial balance 20,000. Debtors 1 lakh. What does it mean? It means your debtors were 1,20,000. 20,000 is written off. So final debtors balance is 1 lakh. Right? And it is written further bad debts 10,000. It means further charge of 10,000 would be needed. Final amount of debtors would become 90,000. Make a provision for bad and doubtful debts 5%. Then on what it should be counted? 1 lakh or 90,000 or 1,20,000?
90,000.
Right? So my point is conceptual clarity. So if it is perfect, it will take seconds to make treatment of one item. 10 seconds, 15 seconds, maximum 20 seconds. There may be 5-6 items which require detailed working. For example, depreciation on fixed assets, accounting for bad and doubtful debts. So it is 80% conceptual clarity and 20% handwriting speed. So should have perfect hold, great memory of formula, of treatment. If your brain is making assessment of what this information is, you will take double time. For example, if you come across any question on issue of shares, you know very well, your brain knows what kind of information it requires. That on issue of shares, you will be given company invited these applications, received these applications, divided into 3 parts, full allotment, partial allotment, no allotment. Thereafter you will be given certain persons, Mr. A or Mr. Mohan didn't pay this amount, he has paid this amount, his money is forfeited. You know reissue also, you know reissue at discount or at par. You know you will have to transfer the amount in capital reserve also. Hardly you will be surprised by any information given in the question. Because it is not only in knowledge, it is in subconscious. So with regard to numericals, if you know every element in advance, that is through practice and understanding, then numericals won't take time. Even amalgamation question will not take time. Even process costing question will not take time. I remember in 2018 or 2017, one question was asked on cash flow analysis. Should we see that question? Let us see. one page question was asked on cash flow analysis. Ritika Jindal, she attempted in 20 to 25 minutes only. And most of the candidates, they told sir, it wasted 45 minutes. And I was thinking, this is the difference between someone who's qualifying and someone who's not qualifying. If someone is sitting and thinking or searching कि to calculate cash from operations, कहाँ से start करूँ? If you are thinking like that, there is no solution. By just seeing the information that two balance sheets are given, I will start with indirect method. I will start with increase or decrease in balance of P&L as per balance sheet. I will add back appropriations. I will add back provision for tax. I will do this. If provision for tax is not given, it will be ignored. I will add back extraordinary payments. I will deduct extraordinary receipts. So I will come to profit before tax and extraordinary items. You remember the format. And thereafter I will adjust for non-cash and non-operating items. So I will get operating profit before working capital changes. I will add less changes in working capital. I get cash generated from operations. I will deduct there from income tax paid or refund received. I will get cash flow before extraordinary items. I will add less extraordinary items. I will get cash from operations. So if format is in your memory, your brain will scan and relate only relevant information. It won't be disturbed by the jungle of information. Really, information seems to be a jungle to a person not having conceptual clarity in numericals. Now point arises, practice of how many questions? My suggestion is 20% only. 15%, 20%. In your book, in any chapter, there are 40 questions. Do wholesome solution of 8 to 10 questions. Your time is limited. Right? Can't do everything. For the remaining 32 questions, you do this. Calculator based calculations. Mind map the solution. That if this kind of question is asked, I'll make entry of the receipt of application money account debit to bank account, application money to share capital account, this. You are facing problem, forfeiture. Yes, in forfeiture I will debit this amount, credit this amount. So if your inner confidence is saying that yes, I'm on the right path, move ahead. 80% questions should be done in this manner. But this must be done. No compromise with this. And must solve even easy question. Naturally you will be solving tough question. I need not say about it. Means solve 2 to 3 or 4 5 questions on even issue of shares. Do journal entry by pen. Brain से नहीं करना. Means 100% mental work should not be done. Writing work must be done for. And here these 20% will include easy to tough question. Because if in examination you are in pressure, under pressure, then attempting easy question may become difficult for you. I think it is over here. Right. Paper 2, we'll discuss it. From Monday we'll start cost accounting. Though audit was in schedule, but I have made some changes in the schedule. We'll take cost accounting 4 days because a lot of numericals would be needed. So taking 6 by 6 days, my speed will be faster, your speed would be slower. So we'll take it 4 days and audit 2 days. Right? 4 days means Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And 2 days means Friday, Saturday. Friday, Saturday. There is no doubt about it. So far as audit is concerned, only for this week, we will conduct this Saturday and Sunday. this week only Saturday and Sunday. There would be total 6 classes. Total 6 classes would be there. Only for this week means coming Saturday audit and Sunday also audit. Those who can't attend Sunday due to other class can see recorded class also. Right? But thereafter, from next week onwards, it would be Friday, Saturday. And I will write a mail also about detailed class schedule. No need to worry about the schedule. So, from Monday we'll start cost accounting. Monday will take basic cost concepts. So, you should read first 2 chapters in advance. Chapter number 1, chapter number 2 of cost accounting. This includes, these 2 chapters include basic cost concepts only. And who will win? Those who will read in advance will win. Who will catch what is important and what is not important. For example, when I discuss something in the class, certain candidates feel confused about it. Certain candidates identify most important crux or cream out of it. And certain candidates take it average. Who is most benefit? Those most benefited, those who study in advance, they are most benefited. They ask right kind of questions. They ask right kind of questions. They also project what kind of questions will be asked by UPSC. Because when I discuss something on any concept, my focus is UPSC past year questions and UPSC syllabus. But if something is not read in advance, at least half, then won't be able to predict what is important and what is not important. So read in advance, first theory chapters, right? So tomorrow is off. For old batch students, that is May batch students, tomorrow there is class, but for new batch there is no class for tomorrow. Sunday generally will keep off. There may be few exceptions only, right? I will be available now for taking your queries.